Hello everyone, hope you are doing very well in your studies. Our lessons today is on reviewing past year exam questions for autumn 2017, part 1 of 2. Without further ado, let's get started. The diagram shows the arrangement of particles in the three states of matters. You have a tree diagram, P, Q, and R. Solid carbon dioxide, dry ice, set lines to gases, carbon dioxide. Which row describe the initial and final states? If you can see from this diagram, this is the initial state of solid. And the question asks you to describe the initial and final state. You can say that the initial state is R and the final state, it will be gases. So it could be R, final state is P. So the answer will be C. During an experiment, a measurement is recorded in centimeter cube. Which apparatus is used? Measuring cylinders come in a wide variety of sizes, especially measuring cylinders. The common sizes used in school and colleges are 10 centimeter cube, 25 centimeter cube, 50 centimeter cube, 100 centimeter cube, 250 centimeter cube, 500 centimeter cube, and 1000 centimeter cube. The answer will be measuring cylinder. A student carried out paper chromatography on a mixture of amino acids. The student sprayed the dried chromatogram with a locating agent. What is the function of the locating agent? Acid aminos involved in the technique of paper chromatography are colorless compounds. So, on spraying the locating agent, which is a solution of nindrine on the dry chromatography paper, then the solution of nindrine react with amino acids to form colored spot by producing a purple compound. So the answer will be the function of locating agent is to form color spot with the amino acid. Which row describes silicon 4 oxide? Silicon oxide has no mobile electron or ions. With a giant structure, acidic oxide and hence does not conduct electricity either as a solid or a liquid. Meaning that silicon 4 oxide has a giant structure and it's acidic oxide, and also it does not conduct electricity, which is the answer will be P. Why do isotopes of the same element have the same chemical properties? They have similar chemical properties because isotopes of an element have the same number of electrons as an atom of the elements. That electron arrangement is the same owing to the same chemical properties. The answer will be they have the same number of electrons in the outer shells. Which dots and cross shows the outer shell electron arrangement in a molecule of carbon dioxide? The answer will be C. The equation for the reactions between phosphorus and oxygen is shown. Which value of X, Y, and Z balance the equation? Let's look. into on the left hand side. When we put x with a value of 1, you get P equals to 4. And when you put a value of 5 oxygen become 10. So when we put the value of Z is equal to 2, so you can get the value of P is 2 multiplied by 2, you get the value of 4. And when the Z is actually represent 2, oxygen 5 multiplied by 2, you get the value of 10. So the answer will be 1, 5, and 2. So it's A. The relative molecular mass of an alcohol is 88. Its percentage composition by mass is carbon 54.5%, hydrogen 9.1%, and oxygen 36.4%, which shows the empirical formula and molecular formula for this alcohol. In this question, they want to find out what is alcohol empirical formula and molecular formula. First, what you need to do, the formula is for mole is mass divided by molar mass. Molar mass equals to mass divided by mole. What you need to do is you have to convert the percentage to mole by assuming 100 grams as a sample. You have to refer this to periodic table in the examination. Most of C of carbon given in the questions is 54.5%. 1 mole of carbon is equivalent to 12.01 gram and is equivalent to 54.5 divided by 12.01, you get the value of 4.54 moles. And moles of oxygen, which is given in the question, is about 9.1%. 1 mole of hydrogen is equivalent to 1.01 gram, equivalent to 9.1, divided by 1.01, you get the value of 9.01 moles. Meanwhile, mole of oxygen given in the questions is 36.4 gram. 36.4% is equivalent to 1 mole, 16 gram, and 36.4 divided by 10, we get the value of 2.27 mole. And then, second step, you have to find the simplest whole number and divide each mole. In this case, you have to find the simplest and the smallest. So this is the smallest, 2.27. That's why when the carbon 4.54 mole divided by 2.27, you get the round figure is 2. And hydrogen 9.01 divided by 2.27 mole, you get the value of 4. And oxygen 2.27 divided by 2.27, you get the value of 1. So the empirical formula for alcohol is C2 for carbon, hydrogen, H4, and oxygen. The third step is for molecular formula, you need to compare molar mass of the empirical formula. So this is the empirical formula that you have derived earlier. To the given relative molecular mass, which is given in the question, is about 88 gram per mole. To find out what is the molar mass for the empirical formula, you have to multiply by the mole. So 2 times 12.01 plus 4 times 1.01 plus oxygen 1 times 16 gram. So when you get the value, is equivalent to 44.06 gram per mole. And the fourth step, once you get this figure, molar mass, Then you have to divide given relative molecular mass, which is 88 in the question, by the molar mass of empirical formula, which is 44.06 gram per mole. So 88 gram per mole divided by 44.06 gram per mole, you get approximately around rounded 2. You get the value of 2. So to derive molecular formula, you have to, fifth step, you have to multiply by 2 empirical formula in order to get molecular formula. So C2H4O, the molecular formula will become C4H8O. Number 9, so the answer for this will be empirical formula is C2H4O, and for the molecular formula is C4H802. Yes. Oxygen multiplied by 2, 1 oxygen multiplied by 2, it becomes C4H8O oxygen 2. The answer will be B. Which statement about the electrolysis of concentrated copper to chloride are correct? Electrons are transferred from the cathode to the copper 2 ions, and chloride ions are attracted to the anode 1 and 3. In the electrolysis of molten copper chloride, the substance liberated at the anode is chlorine, and the substance deposited at the cathode is copper. Is answer 1 and 3. Which metal combination produces the highest voltage reading in the cell? When two metals combinations between magnesium and copper produce an electric current, magnesium is higher up the electrochemical series than copper. So the magnesium can push away its electron more strongly than copper. Electrons flow along the wires and through the voltmeter from the magnesium to copper. So the answer will be D. Which reaction does not occur in the extractions of aluminium? First, I would say that the answer will be B because of the reduction of aluminum oxide with carbon to produce aluminium and carbon dioxide. While this reaction is thermodynamically favorable, meaning it releases energy and forms product with lower energy state, it does not occur in the attraction of aluminium through a simple direction reduction process for several reasons. And then high melting point of aluminum oxide, because aluminum oxide has a very high melting point, which is over 2000 Celsius, making it difficult to melt and react with carbon at typical extraction temperatures. Formation of solid aluminium layers during the reduction process, a solid layer of aluminum oxide can form on the surface of aluminium, acting as a barrier that prevents further reaction. Electrolytic reduction instead of the direction reduction with carbon, aluminium is typically extracted using an electrolytic process called the hot Heroult process. And in this process, aluminum oxide is dissolved in molten cryolite and then electrolyzed to produce aluminum metal. And this method allows for a lower operating temperature and more efficient extraction. And impurities in carbon, because carbon used for direct reduction often contain impurities such as sulfur that can contaminate the aluminum product. And finally, we have energy consumption, which is direct reduction with carbon, requires a very high energy input to the high melting point of aluminum oxide, which is making it less economically viable compared to the electrolytic method. Which statement describes an exothermic reaction? The energy Absorbed for bond breaking is less than the energy released by bond formation. Because why? In exothermic reaction, more energy is released when the bonds are formed in a product that is used to break the bond in the reactant. Therefore, exothermic reactions are accompanied by an increasing in temperature of the reaction mixture. And the mass of a beaker and its content is plotted against time, which graph represent what happens when sodium carbonate react with an excess of dilute hydrochloric acid in an open beaker. So the answer given here is the longer the time, the slope become stagnant, become lower and then stagnant because of the reactions. Copper metal donates electron to silver ion. Zinc metal donate electron to copper ions, which is the strongest reducing agent. Zinc has the highest negative value, so it is the strongest reducing agents followed by iron, nickel, and copper, respectively. The answer will be zinc metal. Four statements about the effect of increasing temperature on the reactions are shown. Which statements are correct? So, they are actually telling about what are the four statements about the effect when there is increasing on the reaction. So, it reflects that the particles move faster and there are more collisions happen between reacting particles, and there are more collisions which have energy greater than activation energy. So the answer will be 2, 3, and 4. The formation of sulfur trioxide from sulfur dioxide is a reversible reaction. The forward reaction is exothermic, and which changes would increase the equilibrium yield of sulfur dioxide. The answer will be increasing the pressure, lowering the temperature. Some properties of oxide are listed. So you have to decide oxide 1, whether it is amphoteric, acidic, basic, or neutral. First, you can say that is amphoteric because react with both acid and alkalines to form salt. React with acid to form salt, but does not react with alkaline. This is a basic. React with alkalines to form salt, but does not react with acidic. So this is, we can say that is acidic. And does not react with acidic or alkaline. This is a neutral. So the answer will be amphoteric, basic, acidic, and neutral, which is B. What is not a typical characteristic of acid? Not all metal react with acid to produce hydrogen, so B. Copper 2 sulfate can be prepared by adding excess copper to carbonate to sulfuric acid. Why is an excess of copper to carbonate added? Because this is to ensure that all the sulfuric acid has reacted. When P react with hydrochloric acid to produce a gas that turns lime water milky, what is P? When a small amount of hydrochloric acid is carefully poured into the remaining test tube, a small amount of sodium carbonate is added to the acid, and the tube is sealed with a rubber stopper. The two tubes are connected, and as a result of the acid carbonate reaction, carbon dioxide is produced and the lime water turns milky. So in this case, we can say that P is a sodium carbonate. With that being said, that's all for today's presentation, and hope to see you in the next presentation. By the way, please don't forget to subscribe to Jom Study Live YouTube channel, and there is a customized note at beacons.ai/Jom Study Live. And the other options for you to access to beacons.ai is via Jones Dalila Instagram. Thank you for listening and hope to see you in the next presentation slide.